Hi, everybody, and welcome to ODTUG's online education series. Today's presentation is Closing the Books from Home or Anywhere Else Around the Globe, presented by Kelly Green of DataVale. Today's presentation will be recorded, and you will be able to find it on the ODTUG website. Also, wanted to mention, if you have questions at any point during the webinar, go ahead and put them into the questions box, and they'll be addressed during the Q&A portion of the webinar at the end. So Kelly, thank you for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me. So today we're going to talk about closing books from home or anywhere else. My name is Kelly Green. I'm a senior consultant in the EPM practice at DataVale. I focus on financial reporting, account recs, month-end close for both on-premises and cloud applications, specifically in Hyperion for the last 12 years. And I've been using most of the current set of EPM applications since they were created by Oracle. At the end of today's presentation, you have a chance to fill out a survey at the link below. I will show the survey again at the end. The survey gives you a chance to win noise canceling headphones. Today we're going to talk about who's DataVale real quickly, then we'll get into closing the books, into what CLOS Manager can do for you, and then a walk through how to set it up, and then we'll open it up for questions at the end. For on-premises and cloud, I've been delivering for over 10 years. We have hundreds of consultants with both on-prem and cloud experience, and we offer the full range of EPM services from projects to support, health checks, and so on. Closing the books. Traditionally, closing the was done by the accounting department located within an office, maybe sometimes several offices, but relying on a lot of face-to-face sessions multiple times during communication, maybe just over the cue ball, meetings, following standard established close practices with a lot of shared or even individual checklists at a desk, on a wall, managers asking how close is going one or more times a day. In today's world, additional challenges. We have people working remotely. We have people that are unavailable on short notice, communication issues because you don't have that cue ball. You got varying work times, and some people have responsibilities that maybe they didn't have before, giving you a potential for a process breakdown or continuity risk in your close. With CLOS Manager, this is a piece of software that has had out for several years that allows you to define, organize, and manage tasks of any process. It does say CLOS Manager, but it can be applied to budgeting, forecasting, the audit. You want to run like a small project. And you can also allow teams to close the books in any geographical area, in the same office, in many offices, from everyone's home, domestic or internationally. This functionality is often overlooked, and in many cases, FCCS or CLOS Manager enacted at the initial go live of a consolidation tool. And so you can leverage this IT investment with no additional software cost to add the functionality now. Where is CLOS Manager? In two places. In the part of the financial close and consolidation application. It's also part of it, which is a standalone on-premise application that also included account reconciliation. In many cases, like I said, it so if you have on-premise account reconciliation manager, you already have CLOS Manager. If you have FCC, you already have CLOS Manager. You're likely not using it. Do I have it already? The white box on the left side of the screen there, that's CLOS Manager. You have a task icon, the first icon in the list, that's CLOS Manager, and the dashboard icon has CLOS Manager information as well. To set up CLOS Manager, first you'd gather, inventory, and document all the tasks and integrations required to close the books from every subsystem that interfaces with the general ledger. You should dig deep, go until you get that the information is outside. So when the bank statement comes from, or when AP closes the book, so anything that comes from outside the accounting department should be considered a task. Then you're going to ask the question, why? Why is this task done on day 3? Why is it not done sooner? Why are there so many tasks on day 4? Why are there so few tasks on day 1? Things like this. You're just going to keep asking these questions. Then you're going to link sequential user tasks within a template. So the AP accrual is linked to the AP close. You can embed templates for more flexibility. So you can actually embed the monthly close into the quarterly close. Tasks can be date driven, so start on day 1, start on day 2, or dependency driven. Again, the accrual starts after the AP. It is more efficient to link the task to predecessors. It enables email communications alerts when the task is due to be started. So when the AP system close task says it's completed, an email goes out to the accountant who does the journal entry for the accrual. The task can be launched by clicking on the link in the email. So you'll get an email with a link and take you right to the task where you can either mark it as done, or if there's information to be collected, or if that task takes you to a screen to do the journal entry, that all happens with that link in the email. Team approach to completing tasks. So you can say every accountant can have the ability to do the AP accrual, or you could say that maybe everybody in the AP department can have the response, can be a possible assignee to say the AP system is closed. This allows each task to be done on a first basis. Benefits of using closed. So it's going to enhance the communication and collaboration. The email notifications are going to go out so people know exactly when their task can be done. They don't have to wait for a specific time. They don't have to wait for someone to come and tell them. The system does it automatically. Dashboards provide managers and users with real-time information on which tasks are done, which tasks are next, and you backwards from the end to see what a visibility to all the tasks. A calendar, a closed calendar might have 20 tasks. A typical template might task. I've even done templates with 800 and 2,000 tasks. So this is going to give a better view of all of the work that is necessary to close the books instead of just the major milestones. Centralized closed task data, closed tasking data. Again, together, data off of people, put it in one spot where it can be. You can also include the templates and the attachments to each task, or the instructions to each task. This facilitates cross-training, backup, and change roles much easier than a binder or something on someone's desk. So you could take a month and say, person A is now going to do person B's tasks, and you can swap tasks for a month to see if the instructions and the templates are enough to do a task, so that in a challenging time like now, if person A is unavailable, you know that person B could do those tasks. It might take a little longer, but you know the task will get completed. You've also got review and approval that you can add if you have certain tasks that you want to be approved or even just reviewed by additional people. You can do that right in the system. You can streamline your close and your other processes. CLOS Manager is a great way to get to a 5-day close if you're not there already. We've also done it to enhance an already existing, to find why people are staying late, remove the wait time out of that process, and make sure everyone goes home at 5. If you identify your predecessors and successors to each task, it'll help you identify any bottlenecks or slowdowns in your close process. So The CLOS Manager is going to force you to identify and document every task involved in the process. So asking why, digging deep into how the close is done is going to come up with things that maybe someone has just 5 years and just knows about it, but no one else knows that it's there. It takes 4 hours. Now everyone will see that that's there and understand why there was a gap between two other processes that were known. The team approach or shared responsibilities can mitigate risk and can speed up the close process. If you've got 3 people in a team and they have set responsibilities aren't leveled by person by day, the team approach can help level that out so that there's not 2 people waiting for a third to do something when they could all jump in and help. By linking your task and setting up dependencies, you can speed up the close process. Instructions associated with every task can make the process more efficient and more standard from month to month. Your waiting times eliminated from the close process. So this is not asking people to work anymore. It's simply taking out the time that is wasted by waiting on someone to tell you that they're done, or if a person was doing a task 3 because they knew it was done sometime on day 2. If they had a system with real-time communication, maybe that task is done at 10 a.m. on day 2, and they can move their day 3 task to day 2 instead of 8 a.m. on day 3, which eliminates 6 hours of wasted waiting time. Dashboards allow people to monitor and facilitate and control the close process. So instead of a controller saying, is the income statement done, and going to the person income statement, they could drill down with a couple clicks into the close process and see that there's data that comes from another team outside of accounting that hasn't been provided yet. And so instead of asking a senior accountant why this report isn't created, someone can go to that outside team and say, hey, we need this data now, it's holding up our close process. Bottlenecks and non-compliance issues can be identified and dealt with speedily. You can also do them in a post-mortem where you go back. This one task is always late. Let's go back and see why. Or this one day 2, this one person seems to be late, and on day 3, this person seems to be late, and see if we can share some of their tasks to level set across days. By evenly distributing tasks across teams and days, you can make sure that everyone has the proper amount of work and prevents one person from causing the whole close to slow down. You can also use the CLOS Manager schedule for quarterly forecasting, annual budget, annual audit, any repeating process that you like. Now we're going to walk through CLOS Manager and the setup. So first, a few common pieces of structure throughout the system. A task is a single event. This can be a manual event or an automated event. A template is just a collection of tasks specific to a process, so like month close. Schedule is a template with dates, and this is where people are going to do their actual work. This is where the sign-offs are going to occur. An organizational unit is a defined business area that can have unique holidays and work days and security. So if you have a geographical location that works Sunday through Thursday, that is defined within their organizational unit. It can be a division, it can be a geographical location, it can be a department, it can be any setup you want, with the different holidays and security. Attributes, you got pre-built ones that come with the system. You can add custom ones. These can be a text box, a list, dates, numbers, true, false, yes, no, those kinds of things. This can be for assignment of data at the task level, so what country, what department. It can also be for a collection, so what day did I get the bank statement? What is the impact this has on the income statement? Those things are collected at the time that the task is run. Predecessor, this is one or more tasks which impacts the start of another task. The task contains all the properties and all the information for a single event, so a journal entry, a subsystem being closed, a report, things like that. Most of the items within this screen are selected from a defined list, sort of like you're building something with building blocks. So the org unit is a list, the task type is a list, priority, owner, those are all items that are set up somewhere else that you just pick from when you create a task. The instructions down here at the bottom, you can see it's a text box, and then it can have a reference. The reference can be an attachment of any file type or a link. So if you want to attach an Excel document, Excel template that needs to be filled out, you can link it to a SharePoint site or any internal documentation that you may have. You can link it to an external site, like go to Oanda and get the FX rates, something like that. So the workflow tab is very important. This is where you assign the task to a person or a team. The assignee can be a person or a team, and a person can have a backup. So this is just a preset person that can do the task if the assignee can't. Also, all tasks can be reassigned on the fly within a schedule, a running schedule, by system admin or the owner that was defined on the previous screen. So those people, so that the owner is usually like supervisor, department manager, and so they could say that Carrie Lane is sick or is on vacation and reassign the task at any time. The teams, like I said, allow a group of people to claim the task when they're ready. The workflow sets a start date and an end date. These are required, and so you have your when you think that it will be done, and then your minimum duration says, from the time you start it, it should take a minimum amount of time. And then you have the early start checkbox. This is important because this overrides your start date and allows the task to start whenever any predecessors are completed. So if they're a predecessor, if not predecessors, it allows the task to start anytime the schedule is started. So if you have predecessors, like our AP accrual example, as soon as the AP system is closed, if that's the predecessor, this task could start even before day -5. And then approvers are optional, and they can go up to 10 levels. So if you want to have an approval, you can. You do not have to have one on each task. Predecessors connect the task. It can be one or more. You have your classic conditions of finish to start. So the highlighted task there must be finished before our load admin data task can start. You also have finish to finish, to where they can run parallel, but you have to finish them in order. This is what allows people to drill back, and it will reduce your wasted and wait time. The drill back is the lower half of the screen here. So when someone clicks on load admin data, they would see these 3 predecessors here and their current status. So they each say success. So those 3 have been done. If they had not been done, it would say in progress or not started. And so a person could then click on one of those tasks and see if there's something holding those up, or and then who would need to be taught. Do you need to go see Carrie Lane? Do you need to see Denise Adams? Is there a task below that needs to be communicated with? All the tasks are created within a template related to that process. So month close here. You can have parent tasks and child tasks to give you a hierarchy structure, as noted by the triangle there. The highlighted one is a collapsed hierarchy, and then O2 is an expanded hierarchy. Hierarchies are good for organization within the template. Also, if you have a series of tasks, like the Flash Financials soft close there, you can use that O2 task as the predecessor in something else instead of all of the tasks below it. So it can make your predecessors easier to set up and drill through as well. Notice that the start and end dates are days and not calendar dates. So your template is going to be set up, you're going to have a 0 day, and then your dates can be negative or positive from that, which will give you your duration of your template. So if your 0 day is the first of the month, then your negative days could be, is the metadata updated, any prep work that needs to be done, maybe the closing of AP or payroll on day -1, and then your close actually starts on day 0. Your days then will shift around the holidays based on the org unit, and your days can be relabeled if you don't want a day 0. If you want to go day -2, day -1, day 1, you can set that up as well. Multiple templates will likely be created, each one being for a specific process. So you can see here in this example, there's divisional month close, corporate month close, Europe month close. Then you have quarter close. Within the quarter close, you can embed the month close so that any changes to the month close are automatically caught by the quarter close. And then with just some additional quarter close tasks set up within there. And predecessors can cross templates. So a quarter close task can have a predecessor of a regular monthly task so that the tasks are inserted properly where they need to go for the quarter close and not just added at the end. So schedule template assigned to calendar dates. It has a status of open or closed or locked. The year and the period in the middle required are used as parameters for integrated tasks. And you can't have multiple schedules open at one time. So you can be doing a month close, a quarter close, annual close all at once. You could have the June month close when the July close starts. Some people may be doing different things. The June close could be reviewing reports, and the July close could be doing some prep work. You'll see that the 0 date is filled in here, and the start date goes back 20 days from that, and the end date goes a very long way into the future. Once you set the status to open, all tasks that have a start date that has already passed or are set to early start with no predecessors will be considered started, and the emails will go out. Another reason to have predecessor tasks so that all of your tasks don't start as soon as your schedule is open, because it doesn't give you any clear visibility if you have 200 tasks that are listed as started and run for several days before people work on them. So it's good to refine those start dates and predecessors so that each task just shows for the amount of time that it should take in the process. You can view your schedule as a list on the left or as a Gantt chart on the right. So the Gantt chart view is the one that really doesn't look good if all tasks are set to start on day 0 and run until day. These can be filtered. You see the filters at the top. You can filter on any field, including ones that aren't there on the list. You can show the column. Each user can set it to be the columns they want. Clicking through the white box at the front of FCC or using CLOS Manager on-prem, you also have My View and some things where you only see your tasks. So that even if your company has a 2,000 task schedule, you're not going to have to see all 2,000 of them. You'll just see the 25 that are assigned to you. The dashboard provides real-time insight to one or more processes. You can see here we have June close selected. You could also have all schedules selected if you wanted to. You got 2 drop downs here. The sort by is just what order you want to see them in. The view by, you can do task type, org unit, schedule, or priority. So if your priority isn't high, medium, or low, you can repurpose that priority to be something else you want to view on the dashboard. So same way with the org unit, you can use that to be, if you don't think you need to use org unit, you can repurpose that to help you have better information here on the dashboard. This dashboard is completely drillable. You can click on any of the blue words, any of the bars, or the pie to see the details of what makes that up. So if you clicked on enter form data, the 7 incomplete, you would see a list of the 7 tasks. Then you could click into that task, see who it's assigned to, see what it is, see if there's any predecessors to it, and start drilling back to see why those 7 haven't been done yet. Task types. System comes with basic and parent, and then you can add integrations to it. Basic is just a manual task. So that's the main one that you're going to build with, basic task. Then you can set up integrations. So if you're in the cloud, you can set up integration to SEC, consolidation, or data management. You can set it up to planning, boarding, ARCs, any other cloud center. The integrations will help directly to a screen, so you can say, go review this data form, go to a journal entry screen, run a report. You can have it do some things automatically. You can have it load data, run a consolidation, run a translation, run a business rule, and then you could link those automatic ones together. You can set up the automated ones are also helpful. So if you have maybe a later task in your process, like wait for the tax department to provide a rate. After that rate's done and someone has to do a journal entry, you can have tasks that runs a consolidation so that the admin of the consolidation system doesn't have to run it. So you can automate some administrative work to relieve the time commitments to the admins, and also to help people do their journal entry and not have to wait for someone else to do something. They can just click submit, system will calculate, and then they can see their reports again. Taking users directly to a screen means you don't have to remember what screen it is or what you're doing. That further helps with the cross-training and the ability for anyone to pick up one of these tasks and do it. So that concludes the basic setup of CLOS Manager. Again, fill out the evaluation form here. Obviously, there are more things that can be done. You can do some customization with rules. You can have, there are better ways to set it up, but we will now open it up to questions. And if anyone has a question, please ask it, and I will do my best to answer it.
Okay. We do have a couple of questions in the box. The first one is, and I'll preface this by saying the answer to this is totally up to you, Kelly. One of the attendees would like to know, can we get a copy of the slides?
Yes. I know we'll post them at datavail.com. I'll have to maybe let people know. Otherwise, if you email info@datavail.com, we will get you set, because I don't have the attendee information to send out. But yes, we will make the slides available.
Okay, great. Second question is, can you give a real-world example of speeding up a close process by using CLOS Manager team approach?
Certainly. So if you had, we've set up CLOS Manager in a service center a few times, where people are centralizing their closing for their whole global organization. And so they had an accounts payable team. And so we assigned 5 people to that team. And then all the tasks got assigned to the team instead of a person. So what the team approach does is it levels out everyone's availability without having tasks 1 is done now, task 2 is done now. It's first come, first serve. So if you had to close the AP system for 25 countries, if one person had to do that, person A, and then person B had to wait for those to be done to do the accruals, you could see how that would back up. But by putting 5 people in that team and saying, close all these systems, they just each take a country and close their AP until it's closed. And then they each take an accrual and do it until it's done.
Okay. Next question is CLOS Manager the same as Task Manager in FCCS?
Yes. So Oracle likes to swap names around, as we all know. So it is Task Manager. Task Manager is where you set it up. That's sort of the admin screen where I was showing setting up a task in a template. That's in Task Manager. The task list is more of your what tasks are assigned to me in my schedule. So CLOS Manager, CLOS Management, Task Manager, tasks, work list, those are all different ways to access Task CLOS Manager.
All right. Next question is, if I have 50 organizational units and want to assign tasks for all of them, do I create one task and assign each organization unit, or do I create 50 tasks, each one for each organization unit?
It would be the 50 tasks in that specific example. Tasks cannot be reused, they're individual. It's not like a report for consolidation where you can run it with a different parameter. So each task is specific, would be assigned to a specific organizational unit. When you get to larger sets of tasks like that, the system can be maintained with importing and exporting Excel templates, which just takes all the information from the task and puts it into a CSV file. And so that's how you would do it more quickly, where you could replicate that 50 times with 50. You could have it have the same name, but you have to have a different ID. Certainly copy it and make that quickly in Excel.
Okay, the next question, I believe, is a follow-up to the question about, is CLOS Manager the same as Task Manager? And this question is, if that's the case, then which one is going to be the future state and which one will be phased out by Oracle?
None of them are being phased out. CLOS Manager, I believe, is still available on-prem. Definitely Oracle's focus is on the cloud, but if you're specifically within cloud, you're calling it Task Manager. Task Manager is more of the administrative view of CLOS Manager, and the tasks and the work lists are the user view. So Task Manager would be equivalent to the application overview dimension screen where you're maintaining the dimensions where the users don't go. So it's more of just an admin versus user view, and not one will be phased out.
Okay, let's see. One more question. Can you compare task or overall close times month on month?
Yes, absolutely. So everything is recorded. So all the clicks, all the comments that may be added, when it started, when it finished, that is all recorded by the system. And then you can run reports. There's a note. See it. So when everything is small, you could compare several months. You could just look at it as you go. We definitely sort of every your systems there, because you're going to make a lot of changes new and available. But then you could use to go back and look and see, is it a predecessor, is it a person? A client wanted to get down to the 5. One of the things we did is several dozen tasks into week 4 instead of doing them during week 1, because they were only done during week 1 because that's what everybody thought they had to be done. But when we looked at their predecessors, they could be done a whole week early. So we moved that stuff out of the close week and allowed us to focus on close tasks, and it gave them a lot more room.
Okay. Next question is there any limit on the number of tasks that could be created for a single calendar template?
I believe the limit is gone. When the product first came out, there was a 2,000 count limit. I hit it. Oracle removed it. So I don't believe that there is a limit anymore on the number of tasks that you can do. It's certainly above 2,000 now. And so I don't think I've come across more than that, but I don't believe that there is a limit anymore.
Okay, that looks like it was the last question. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everybody for attending today. Thank you very much, Kelly, for presenting. And don't forget, this webinar was recorded. You'll be able to find it on the ODTUG website. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.